right now, they are doing this pansamantanghalan, which they will feature monovlogs, series monovlogs. Meron silang dalawa ngayon, Lolo Doc and Lola Doc. Is actually relevant. Like the first play that we've watched or featured, yung Kundiman, which is very political, but right now it's also relevant because of COVID-19. Lolo Doc is about a doctor, and Lola Doc is about Dr. There, Lolo Doc. Well, let's talk about it now. Well, before that, Layeta Bucoy. Layeta Bucoy is one of yung suki ng Virgin Love Fest or Writers ng Tanghalang Pilipino. Do you know her personally, Rico?
No, actually, I haven't worked with her. I don't know her personally. I know of her. I think I met her once sa isang writer's block meeting. But she's celebrated. I know she's multi-awarded. But I haven't really been in one of her plays, unfortunately. So maybe in the future I might. But hopefully, if I get my Tagalog correct.
Okay, pero suki siya ng Tanghalang Pilipino
Yeah.
no? Kasi nung panahon ko, syempre, tagal ng 2005, wala pa siya doon. So I really wasn't able to meet her. But right now, dalawa agad yung projects niya with Tanghalang Pilipino. Actually, series of monovlogs na we're going to feature right now. The first monovlog that we're going to feature is Lolo Doc, which features Atananding, the artistic director of Tanghalang Pilipino currently. So, Diana, any thoughts about Lolo Doc?
My initial thoughts for it is how relevant it is. It's a story about a doctor na si Lolo, and then he talks to his yung grandchildren niya. Tapos one-way letter siya. He talks to the camera, and then walang nag-reply, but he acts like he's answering to replies. And then as you go through, it's a 19-minute monologue. As you go through the whole story, you find out that who the characters are, his three apos, and then yung anak niya, tsaka yung asawa niya, si Lola Doc, and their situation, which is that they're doctors, they're frontliners in the pandemic. At na-asymptomatic siya. He actually has COVID already, but that he is an asymptomatic person. So he does not want to leave the hospital either because he does not want to abandon his patients. So very moving, very touching. I just found it, the music, I just found it a touch melodramatic, which I didn't feel like it needed it. Parang siguro they did it so that to have the effect. Kasi ako umiyak ako eh. But I have a thing kasi for older people who act really well. Parang na-affect ako ng kanilang acting and their facial expressions. Okay. Yun lang. But that's my only criticism. It's a 19-minute play. I mean, alam mo yun, it's so divisive. Alam mo yun, smart, divisive, short. It's a love letter. Tapos yung one critic ko lang is the tearjerker music. Yun lang.
Ang galing nung tatananding, no? Walang kupas. For me, ang galing pa rin yung kumonek. And he's a stage actor, pero he was able to evolve being a TV actor and right now an online actor na captured pa rin my emotion even just watching on us. Ako, binanood ko yun sa sa cellphone lang. So, very small, but captured agad yung emotion. So, hindi ako talaga believe sa tatananding. Iba talaga yung tatananding ever since. Yeah. Ever since na pinapanood ko siya kahit anong production or
sabang natural.
Yes.
Sabang natural nung ano niya ng acting.
Very natural. Wala akong masabing mali eh. He knows what he's doing.
It's the eyes eh.
Yun.
It's the eyes.
Yun.
Very soulful eyes niya. Yung eyes.
Yeah, I think you guys parang hit it on the parang you got the point talaga eh. I think si si Nanding Joseph, no? Siya yung si Lolo Doc. And he actually carried it kasi the script, it was really like, how do I say it? Like, parang he delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed the revelation And that's very hard for an actor to do. Parang to actually keep it still entertaining or parang keep the audience still engaged even though the revelation happens pa medyo past the middle point of the monologue. My only concern lang with it's not about the performance. I think for me, my only concern with since it's also a new genre, if you can call it a genre na rin, was the editing. Parang the editing was too jumpy for me. Kasi parang when you talk about monologues, and I think Rico can touch on this since we worked with him in yung Throw Lines Thursday, is when you try to do a theatrical monologue, it's not supposed to be parang through cuts. Parang it's supposed to feel like a theatrical experience, or it's acted like you're in the theater. So it has to be continuous without cutting, without music, etc., etc. But again, this is the first type of parang work from this genre. So I
Very
cannot.
new.
It's
Very
new,
new.
So parang siguro
Especially
it's really an experimental stage.
especially if they're trying to recreate yung FB live experience, unless it's a premiere experience, no?
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint. Pero if they're trying to recreate the FB live experience, then the jumping is a little too much.
Yeah, it's not FB live, it's a
Hindi
recorded
na
na
siya,
siya. Or again parang we need to like, since we were already entering into this type of genre, or this this new format that we're gonna be using for a long time, parang we really need to ask if it's really theatrical or is it really film, because I can see it more of as a film rather than a theatrical experience.
Para siyang short film, no?
Yeah.
Ako, ang comment ko talaga yung walang question sa acting ni Tata Nanding, no? It's very
agree.
on point, very good. Alam na alam yung ginagawa niya. The thing is, yung editing, tama kayo. Yung cutting, yung music, all of it are really about the production, yung yung nagkatrabaho sa likod, how it was created. Yung yung sinabi niya, banggitin ko na rin, yung FB Live supposed to be, hindi mo kang FB Live
Yeah.
Yung
mukhang
mas gusto ko pa yung yung kay John Loyende.
Yun, FB Live talaga yun.
Yung may mga heart pa.
Yeah.
Di ba, ganun dapat yun Parang nawala yung mga ganung portion Tapos nagulat ka na lang yung number ng likes, ang dami-dami na, or viewers, ang dami-dami na thousands na bigla.
15,000.
Oo.
Medyo
nag-jump siya bigla.
Yeah, medyo naigit ako kay Lolo Doc Parang
1.5 yung 1.5k yung viewers Mga apo ba niya yun?
Daming apo, man.
Maybe since this series, maybe they can do something about it in the future, no? Mas maganda.
Can we talk about the M word? Kasi, okay.
M word. What's the M word?
Monologue.
I'm ready for that.
Okay. Kasi,
you can go ahead if you want.
Yeah, but leading to what Joel wanted to really like highlight, and also what Diana said about no need for music and all the jumping scenes. So if we're treating this as film, which makes more sense than than a theatrical monologue. If I'm wrong, so nag-boom ang internet, a lot of content writers started writing journal logs on the web. So tinawag siyang web blog or naging blog. So uso yung blogs, pinagkakitaan. Eventually nauso ang YouTube, yung everybody want to be celebrities, naging video logs, kaya naging vlog. So kung ito yung format na tinatahak niya, and then they wanted to kind of conflate the idea of a monologue with a vlog, so what at yung result, why are we confused? I mean, I was very confused with what I was watching. And a lot of while I like the attempt, okay, I just siguro ako lang, and of course that's Tatananding and his body of work is you have high respect for the work of Tatananding. Just for the material itself and all the why do you have to add the music? Why does he like his head is like this and then suddenly it's like that? And how come we're not here? If it's okay if you're not hearing yung kausap mo if that's not part of the text. Pero bakit gina-jump cut? So what's going on? It's not happening live. So I got really confused watching it. Kasi nga, ano ba yung intention ninyo? Gusto niyo ako umiyak? No, gusto niyo ako umiyak? Ayan, kaya may music, gusto niyo ako kasi umiyak. And yet, so I felt like siguro hindi ako yung intended audience nito. Baka their intended audience was people who see telenovelas, who are used to kind of that thing, tempered very much by veteran acting and not the telenovelic acting that we're used to. But it just felt like had it been simpler, had it been like just come on, these are you know ate guy and tatananding, just point the camera lens towards them and let them do their job without so much without so much colorete. It would have been, I feel, so much more powerful than all of these distractions, and I would have probably been more hooked into what they were saying. But
Shall
they're
we
very
talk about
touching.
the two videos as a whole na? Since
Yeah,
we're
let's talk
already
about the
talking
two
about
videos as a whole.
True, yeah. So Jen has something to say with
No,
what, yeah.
yeah, kasi like what Rico mentioned na it's almost like a telenovela, yung dating niya with the music and and for me like it's also the decision to go for that theme of the COVID-19 theme, diba na we're all surrounding it right now, we're experiencing it right now, we're all traumatized by it. And then these artists made the decision to talk about that as the central topic of their monovlogs.
Oh, okay.
Monovlogs.
hard time.
I know. It's monologues in the video.
Yeah.
And if I may be honest, it's for me, I find it a tad bit exploitative, because we're already dealing. They're tapping into a material that they know will hit the mark for everyone because we're all experiencing it.
Yeah.
If not us, majority of the people. Because and it's a tricky thing, it's a tricky thing when you're tapping into a material that na this will cause tear jerkers for people, and I just feel like I don't know, for something as sensitive as this, it needs more critical distance. Either it needs critical distance or it needs to, how should I say this? It needs to, like what you mentioned earlier, it needs to have a personal stake to it.
Yeah. For me kasi parang as artists kasi we're, as Jenny mentioned in the first part of the program, and the Kundiman part, it was a very political piece. But I think kasi sometimes if you're too parang you're too focused on the advocacy, which this one was a very heavily piece that really focused on the advocacy of trying to get the information out about COVID-19 to everyone.
I mean, the monologue sounds like PSA.
Yeah, it kind of like it's more informative than an actual parang artistic work or a creative work. And I know the intention of the producers na this is kind of like another way of telling people that this is what's happening, this is the disease, etc., etc. But the thing is, like, if you're gonna go that route, might as well do a PSA. That's my opinion. Again, nakainom na ako eh. So, this is not, this is like early stages of this type of medium.
Yeah.
So I'm sure since it's an installment, they'll probably listen to us and take in our parang recommendations or comments that probably you're not going to the route of theater. You don't use theater as a base, but you use film and parang the video media as parang your jumping point, and then try to see like what made film work, the
Yeah.
elements of film, rather than writing it like a theatrical monologue.
Blah, blah.
Tingin-
Since we are audience, kumari ni Jack, what is PSA?
Public service announcement.
Ayun, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like a public service announcement rather than art, you know.
Yeah.
Or
Parang,
rather than grandparents speaking to their kids, it's like,
Oo.
diba, parang a lolo and a lola making a PSA to their grandchildren, which is kind of really,
yeah.
parang it takes away, anong tawag, suspension of disbelief. It
Yes,
just
exactly.
destroys it. It just
I'd like to mention na Nora Honor, first time doing this kind of thing online na kasi hindi siya film eh. It's different for
Yes,
actress. I wanna applaud her
Yeah.
and she really did a great job for that.
There's
Okay?
no problem with the
Yeah.
actors, no
Yeah.
problem.
Kasi nakatakot eh. Takot yung mga Noranians. Sa Noranians. Ayan si Rico. Noranian yun ako. Noranian ako.
There's no issue with the actors.
Yeah.
It's really like yung decision to dive into this new medium
Yeah.
called the monovlog.
Yeah. Ikaw na.
Mauna na ako sa
Yeah.
monovlog. I just have to let it out before I forget it. Yung sa monovlog, I have an issue with the term monovlog, no? Kasi it's kind of like the same as I have an issue when we term what we're going through as the new normal. It's like saying that this is here to stay. And so when you put a name to it, it's here permanently. So parang na ano ako na parang it's like we're surrendering ourselves to this to something na because theater is not happening anytime soon, no? But also because we're diving into a medium na parang rather than allowing the medium to work its limitations and potentials, we're forcing the theater medium into a totally alien medium, no? It kind of reminds me of the principles that they taught us in site-specific theater. When you encounter a space that's not really meant to be, or it's not really meant or built or designed to be theater, yung turo sa atin is to not force a theater into it. You don't dress it up. You don't create a proscenium or a thrust out of it. You just allow the space, the architecture to speak its spaces, you adjust to the space, you adjust to the architecture, not the other way around. And I have a feeling that the reason why this monovlog medium is a little off, it's because we're trying to force something that it's not. I mean, like yung FB Live or Zoom even, when they're trying to create theater out of Zoom is not meant for entertainment. Zoom is meant for board meetings, for this and that, diba? So if we're forcing like a film element to it, siguro pwede na, but if we're forcing a theater element to something that's not really meant to accommodate that, then we have to rethink it. Maybe we have to adjust to that medium, not the other way around.
Yeah, and I guess it's kind of like what Jenny mentioned din, parang to me kasi I when I watch like a video or probably like something theatrical, parang I want to see like more the human side of stuff. And I think for me, especially with these videos, parang nawala yung artistry of like going beyond the information and trying to connect and ask questions like, is it what will it do to me, or parang what am I feeling like now that I have the sickness. Parang it was more informative rather than more artistic, in my opinion.
Just give us the simplicity of, the memories, yung memories ni Lolo Doc, when, and that's what moved me. When they were talking about their memories, remember yung sinabi mo yan, na kamukha kita, sabi nga, kamukha, and there's the humanity of, because everything else, like, I agree with Bloy. You want me to find out about COVID? I'll go to the WHO website. I'll go to DOH website. But tell me something that only art can give, that not a science textbook can give, and that's the human heart that lives on, even though, humanity has been through so many pandemics in our history. Human art lives on because we give our heart to it, and I'm very grateful to Tata Nanding and Ate Guy. They give heart to it.
Ako, I just want to correct lang si Rico kasi I think yung kay Ate Guy, it wasn't actually a monovlog It was actually a dia-vlog. Kasi may
Hindi kasi may sagutan siya
may sagutan
with the girl, yung
eh.
little
So parang,
girl.
hindi siya monovlog, dia-vlog. So probably magiging tria-vlog.
Yung timing of it, kasi we're 3 months into the pandemic and hindi patapos. There's still the whole year and maybe the next year. And to produce something like this, and then yung parang iniisip ko, maybe if I saw this in the future or in the past, nang wala pang pandemic, iba yung magiging effect niya sa akin. It's like watching it, parang siyang science fiction. Because it's being presented to us now, parang, I could, call somebody I know who's in this situation, and it would probably be a kind of similar conversation. So parang yun lang yung naisip ko, na maybe parang jumping, maybe it's timing, jumping the gun, or releasing it while the pandemic is 3 months old sa atin in the Philippines, diba?
This could have parang been more interesting is if they featured not the doctor, but they featured like the family, like for example Rico as a spouse. Kasi parang in a way it's the more human side of COVID Kasi parang you're just telling your spouse na sige, I mean, I don't want you to go out because I don't want you to contract anything, but you need to. So parang that idea na the monologue, if the character was the spouse instead of the doctor, it would have actually added more human Kasi yung doctor, sometimes they're obliged to give information. So
What can the theater offer that the real life hasn't offered yet? And it's really like those nook and crannies that we experience na hindi pa siya na napuput on stage or hindi pa siya na-discuss, because it's all about information in real life.
Yeah.
It's all about the news in real life.
Or parang in a way like the another angle.
Yeah, a more nuanced perspective of life.
Yeah.
And that's what theater or art in general offers.
Yeah.
Kind of have a perfect word for what Rico and Diana mentioned or is describing. I think I find it insensitive to everyone. Kasi it's not
Big word.
yeah, it's such a big word, and unfortunately hindi ko talaga magets, and kumbaga magigets kung ginagawa ng TP and how possibly they're doing that. Of course, I would also want to think na, how does TP find entertainment with this kinds of situation, and as an audience, how would I react to this situation, and also as an actor, how would you relay that? But I find it insensitive because for one, it is still happening, and secondly, you really do not know what is going on. Of course, we see that on the news, pero parang ikaw ba kapag namatayan ka ganon? Ikaw ba as an apo, how will you cry? So something like that. Kasi and we are talking about this, and again, if I'm just kind of sensitive with this situations in theater or in any medium kapag death and mental health yung pinag-uusapan, because come on guys, it's beyond comprehension that you talk about these things, because anytime it can happen. Or I know the comments were good about Ate Guy's acting, and then again, I don't have any questions about that. But again, making art is something for you to put out a statement, and I think the statement that they're putting out on is insensitive.
Well, we've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
talking about this from time to time eh. Yung idea of that's how we felt.
Mhm.
Pero meron silang target audience
Mhm.
na may not feel that this show and project was not insensitive.
Okay.
And they may feel that it is needed,
Mhm.
and it may feel that is a eye-opener for them. So that, for me, that may be the goal of Tanghalang Pilipino, which was not able to struck you, but possibly a bigger audience sa target nila, which is the masa.
To me, maybe it's just timing. Kasi nga, hindi pa tapos eh. And maybe kung maybe in a few years, they can make a documentary or a mockumentary or art about the pandemic. Naiintindihan ko pa kasi it's about healing. Pero right now, it's still going on. The war is just begun. And then they're already making like parang an art about it. Parang yung hindi masyado pang maaga to say what it is all about.
I'm actually just taking sides on Tanghalang Pilipino's voice, no?
Yeah,
Tama yung mga sinabi nyo kanina eh. Ang main question dito is, what is the target audience of Tanghalang Pilipino?
well, they in which case they got it.
They got it.
Yeah, in which case they got it. If that's the target
Telenovela
audience,
people.
yeah. Tsaka if they wanted to make us cry, then they got the formula right.
Yes. Noranians, people who watch telenovelas, and they got it on point. And they maybe reach the message across. Imagine if you are showing this after ng pandemic, yung sinasabi nyo, balikan natin yung sinasabi nyo kanina, or before the pandemic, with these telenovela peoples na gustong-gusto yung drama, would they accept it? Would they appreciate the performance? Less, siguro, but lesser. Kasi hindi pa nila ramdam eh. Hindi ko maramdaman kasi hindi ko pa na-experience eh. And tapos na ako sa experience na yun eh. Pero
Tama ka,
now that
Joel.
they're experiencing it, now that they know that some people are experiencing it right now, that may be the goal of Tanghalang Pilipino.
Sometimes what they need is a mirror eh.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Yung they need a reflection to show them what is it that I'm feeling, what is going on. So parang to me, this is like, it's a mirror. It doesn't show us anything that's not already there. So maybe that's
Don't you
what it's
just-
for. Yeah, go ahead. Ben.
Don't you just wish that there's no such thing as a target audience? Like we are all audience. And we're all in agreement of something. Pero that's the reality nga eh. Sabi nga ni Joel, may specific target audience.
And I thought, as artists kasi, I cannot stand by that eh. You need to actually do something more, elevate. Don't go down to your audience. Go up. Don't underestimate them. Parang don't tell na yan lang yung capacity nila. Kasi if you told it in a more humanistic level, baka nga mas affected sila kasi meron silang na-experience na kamag-anak na matay.
I would expect that from GMA or ABS-CBN, but I would expect more from the CCP
Yes.
though.
Yeah.
I feel you
As
guys.
a primer institution that should elevate art.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just
edit
have,
out
Pero
Joel, na. Edit out,
naintindihan
edit
kita,
out.
Joel. Naintindihan ko na ikaw dapat yung
Cut, cut, cut,
magtatampal. Oo.
Gusto kong banggitin kasi it may be because nawawala yung hawak nila eh.
everyone's lost.
Hindi, let me just go back to my thought, no? Before you interrupt me. It's about the MMFF. Remember, anong year in 2017, 2018? wherein they produce
Hindi
quality plays in the films. But imagine yung reception ng tao without Vice Ganda, without
Yeah.
Coco Martin, without Vic Soto. I hate it. Pero yun yung reality that we must accept right now. But tama kayo. At some point, you're really right. When are we going to start educating the people? So that also
Well-
goes back to the responsibility of artists of Filipino
Tanghalang Pilipino daw.
to educate the people.
Oo.
To educate the people. When are we going to start to educate the people to learn, to
Okay.
feed them the right
Going-
things that they
going
should
there.
learn?
Parang,
Kasi-
unfortunately, Tanghalang Pilipino missed the mark because they're not known for it. Obviously, this monovlog that they're doing right now, no, and the pansamantal tanghalan, yun, statement nila yun na na pansamantalang theater lang to, which is ano ba yung pinaka-available sa atin, which is ayan nga yung cellphone natin, yung mga laptop natin. Pero again, they just miss the mark, and unfortunately nagigets ko din sa side mo sa Tanghalang Pilipino na you want to speak for them because as a theater companies tayo, what can we create? We cannot just jump in the bandwagon and just or create something new dahil wala tayo sa entablado to perform with. So we need to create something, and unfortunately that creation of ours it's either too masyadong mapalabok or masyadong simple, or they just did not, unfortunately, they were not able to do it right. Kaya for me, it was insensitive.
I parang if we could, kasi gets ko yung sinasabi mo, Joel, pero why can't we marry both? Why can we not, sige, let's create these monovlogs and try to reach out to people who won't normally buy a ticket to see the theater, put superstars, Tata Nanding and Ate Guy in them, and just have them do their stuff. I think hindi nakabawas, hindi magiging weaker yung message if they didn't have to resort to all of that. It would be just as pure and clear and if it was just simple and straightforward and and all that without having to consider papanoorin ba ito ng mga people because they would. It's Ate Guy. It's there, it's free. And what else do we have to do? We're all locked in our homes.
So I have a question with that. Would you accept the project if it was just pure, genuine monoblog?
Yeah, I would.
We all agree on that, no?
I would be accepting of the monovlog of Tanghalang Pilipino if they did not put all those palabok with the music, with the Apo actors and the ganyan, Tata Nanding and and Nora Honor lang. Yung nalaman ko na papanoorin natin to, ginawa na rin nila John Lloyd and Bea yan. So why would I want to watch this? So what's kind of new if you do this? So again, I would be accepting of their monologue. I would be accepting of their monovlog na tinatawag nila, which is a monologue in a vlog form, without all those without all those editing keme, and only if they're going to do this nang yun lang, wala nang kasunod.
With the question Joel asked, I can only speak as a writer or a director. I would actually say yes to the project. Pero if the producers or Tanghalang Pilipino gave me time and access to research, because I think what happened now is that I don't know the process that they went through, pero from the material that I watched, it's parang lack the research. Na parang if you can just probably really interview doctors, really interview frontliners, and really get a sense of like what they're struggling with and what really impacts them, then probably you could create something that's very dramatic, still pangmasal, yes, but it's well researched, well nuanced, and it's not, it's in a higher level than what we probably got there.